So if you're inside of MT5, you can actually do like 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour charts. All these. So if you're going to look at the market unfolding, I used to take RSI and run it on the 1, 2, 3, 4 hour charts. So you can see, oh, the 1 hour turned, 2 hours got another. So to get that pattern to show up in the 2 hour, the 3 hour, and so on, and custom time frames like that, or I suppose there's some indicator that can slice it. So this is the daily Bitcoin, and that yellow line at the top there that's marked off at like what's it? So it's 6488, 64,887. That was the all-time high. So we close above that, and psychotically close above that for one day, and that's all you get. Now this is right at the moment that it starts trading ETF. That's a climax moment there, and if anybody's scalping on the way to that, that's quite a risky trade, but not if you break it down into segments, so you can just kind of leg into it, so it's not so painful. Because some of these moves, it just blow your mind. If you start selling every, how many pips would that be? Like every, I don't know, $50 or something. I mean, it's crazy, right? If you sell, but if you sell like this, and you sell like this, and you sell like this, you sell like this, so it's a little bit different pace. So every $1,000 you're going to sell above this. Yeah, about every $500 you're selling. Pretty crazy. And this is still 56,000 back here, way back deep. Now this box, I had put this up here before the video, days before, and also this supply zone, so our order block, what do you call it? This thing here, right? So this shelf, as soon as we come into that, now if you were very aggressive, you would put all your buy limits on the low of the previous day. In my opinion, this is going to be a crush, and if you can handle through the crush of that, to get paid, it's going to take you 2 days to get paid on that. Same thing here. If you sold into this, now here they kind of, this is such a brutal move. If you don't scalp out here, then yeah, you probably only made 25% of what you would normally make. Same thing here. I mean, if you start selling above this, you're fucked. Right now, you're fucked. I mean, you had to be careful above here. Now this, if I look back on the weeklies, let me see. I don't have a good mind of where this thing's at, and I haven't memorized it yet, so I just marked off the current prices. Is all that matters to me is this stuff, because I could look back here and make all sorts of. Okay, that is the. Once you get above this, all bets are off on that weekly, because you're carving into this hole. It goes way back to here. So right now you are everything in this pocket and severely beyond that. So this, you had to know that was going to be quite a scary ride right when it took out this price. When would that be? The first breakthrough here goes screaming in. So I don't think there's one let up through that. And you have to expect that because of this void, the way it's placed in the structure, in the kind of itching to be crushed. Same thing with this pocket here. So you have this lonely high. So the whole time this is going down, down, and getting all wedged out. Kind of a perfect death of momentum, and then you get this. Like I said, you could just trade the wicks on that and make money. Just put your buy limits below just take a little risk there, put buy limits below the close here. So every time it wicks down in, at least you can make this trade, and then sure, you could hold through the crush, or are you going to be the guy that starts selling here? Now that's kind of a very tough position to be in. unless you decide to say, I'll sell a 1K, a 2K, a 3K, a 4K, a 5K, 6K. You have enough money where it's not really, this thing's so volatile that right now you could put buy limits all the way down and just sit back and go, let me know when they fill me, because I want to dump some of it on a dead cat bounce. So we assume a dead cat bounce as this comes down. So you actually have to assume quite a bit, and quite a bit of different scenarios are possible. That is certainly the, the game is to imagine what you envision how long the trade's going to last. 3 days, that's going to be at least a $2,000 swing, or just start buying. The next week you're buying down here. I'll buy Bitcoin all the way down to here, and that's just all there is to it. I mean, this is a stupid trade. I don't think there's much thinking there, and sure, put one into 618 if it just you put a 1K to 618, put another 1K to 618. So you just trail them all the way down. You take a haystack approach where you can do no wrong, right? You're just going to throttle into it, and there's enough money in the account. And that's all there is to it. I mean, you're going to have to go underwater, if not get stopped out of some of these tickets. That's the sad fact of it, because if you're going to hold a position that's big enough to make $1,000 or $500, you're probably going to have to go underwater by at least $200. I figure the spread and some, unless you're so good at trading that you've just put in a 1 pip stop, I don't know how do you do that, but you got to be sitting there babysitting the tick chart. Actually, you got to be on like a 6-second chart. If you look at a 6-second candlestick chart, you could probably do it, just nail it, right? And then really tight spread, trade really big, and I'm sure that's viable. Except when the news comes out, you can't exactly do some of these trades, with 1 pip stop. The spread widens when the news comes out. Just before the news, so if you notice, the euro today took out the high of the day about I don't know, so much before the news, but there was just there's people getting in and out of positions, and they're just causing the market to move up and down. So there's nothing special about where it turns around, why it turns around there. There's no otherwise you're just hand it over to the robot. Like this instance here on Bitcoin, I mean, if you sold that all-time high there on Bitcoin, you're still up on the trade. I mean, this the other problem is that depending how many tickets you got in there, depending if you even took the trade or not, what's the next trade? If you didn't take that trade, you should be able to call it the next trade. This would be the, I guess you're kind of waiting to see what happens, but only from the standpoint of like, wow, the market's really on fire. I think I better trade with wide stops, right? I just can't trade it. It's too big of a move for my risk. So where's your risk level, right? And when you switch currency pairs, jump from one to another, it's kind of hard to get the cushion of, so if you trade the Australian dollar, you could trade twice as many contracts. The spread sucks, but you can very creeper gear. You're not going to get rich fast, and you're not going to go poor fast. So it's a, I guess, beginner's kind of bad spread and creeper gear moves. Right now the euro to the pound's like that. This very cheap and barely moves. Whereas the yen versus the pound to the yen, it's brutal, right? I mean, that thing's moving 300 pips in about an hour. You're just like, whew. Now you have to have your targets set up like that, or what's the point of trading these price policies that last 4 hours or 12 hours? What's the point? I guess it has to be appropriate. And then of course, the news comes out, and then the stocks open, and there's a resolution to some of the moves do resolve themselves because now everybody's in, right? And it just comes gushing in, and you're just crashing through. You might say you're stop hunting people, but the market is just it's like the vacuum of like when these people left Afghanistan. They just took off. Well, see you bye. Like you just create this weird vacuum, and then of course that has to fill, and that might fill quickly, or it might cave in, but you're definitely creating chaos and turbulence, and then the market seems to the market's freaking out as the people are freaking out because it's traded by people. So you're seeing that same, ridiculous panic moves in the market. So if you go back and study charts all the way back to the olden days, closing charts and all that kind of old-fashioned market crash, they all look about the same. Insane spike, bad spreads, and everybody's losing their mind. But along the way, certainly if you drill down to the 1-minute chart or drill down to the 4-hour chart, you can see, oh, look at this. But then you have to be realistic. Like, how long is it going to take for this pattern to unfold? Are you really trading the breakout of an apex of a 4-hour chart looking to get paid in 5 days? Or are you looking for the breakout of a 1-hour chart just to have it explode when Europe opens and scalp and get the hell out? So both trades might make exactly the same amount of money, but how much energy is spent in these setups and these snipings? And it's not easy to be a sniper. You have to be dialed in, get enough Peruvian flake and really good coffee, chocolate maybe, and just be all amped up, and Red Bull, and some brandy, right? Some Red Bull brandy, and just be ready to trade, So that's kind of the mystique of that, style of trading. And then there's the, I'm just going to no nonsense, trader. And of course, all these people exist. It's hard to believe, right? It's actually more diverse than the people that are wearing the masks. But I see people wearing like fancy masks now. I'm like, oh man, they really took these, like a leather mask. So what can this mask is allowed to be made out of? And I mean, how are these people doing it? Seriously, am I just missing the? Why do people put up with this shit? They get on the planes and they the TSA's already fucking giving you a cavity search and shit. So what the fuck, It's so stupid. It's just such a facade. It's like you're paying to go to a show that you don't want to see. They're making you pay for these people to act like they give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, TSA, they're really looking out for you. I mean, they just look at you like, fuck, man. I'm like, fuck you, fuck back. I ain't talking to you. Last time I was there, they took a little puppy dog through the... They just sniff everybody in line because they're in a hurry. And I thought, this dog looks like some little mutt that they picked up. I'm like, how do we even know this dog's for real? I should have got a biscuit out and tested the dog, but I guess I'd probably go to jail for fucking with the police dog. It was a little fucking Scottish Terrier. But like these kind of moves here, like, I'm looking at this chart. This is the weekly Bitcoin, dude. You know how long it's going to take you to fill this fucking cascade of yellow stripes I put in there? I ain't got fucking time for that. But like I said, some people would do this trade in a minute because it would just, as they come in, you see them on your phone. Hey, I'm up $400. Just pluck that one off. Or you've already got a predetermined stop. Good ratio, of course. But the good ratios can be a little bit... not so forgiving. So if you backtest a tight stop versus a wide stop, you probably have a higher probability of hitting your target with the tight target and wide stop. But you can't ever have every ticket like that. But you have to have some assortment of loss leaders. So if you own a store, you have shit that you're going to lose money on. But it's shit you got to use to roll over your inventory of margin because you got to make something on this fucking trade, okay? So... it's not a perfect world, and I think the perfection comes from the indicators. This idea that the robot's going to scan it. We'll leave it up to the fucking... Hey, the AI shit is bullshit. I mean, it's hilarious, though. They sell this guy. I'll call me the online trading guy. We use fractal geometry, and we use AI, and we use, what Facebook meta shit? Facebook? What a dumb fuck. What a dumb shit. How embarrassing to make your money doing something stupid like that. Like, I only go on there I cringe every time I go on Facebook to this day. I was like, what the fuck happened here? It was such a simple thing. And now it's just a big pile of advertisements and garbage. And if I see another fucking warning like this is a very dangerous topic you're talking about here, son. What the fuck? I'm saying, like... I cannot believe ICT said that. So I was listening to his video after I did my video, and he was saying that, I've had stuff happen to me, and people don't believe me, but that's all right. Like, he was afraid to talk about the order blocks in a video because they're going to come get him in the middle of the night and shit and beat him up. I'm like, yeah, that's. I guess with enough drugs we can all get to that point of paranoia where we're like, I think somebody's watching me right now. So I think that can happen to anybody. Here, look at this Bitcoin, 60,000. So you're up a nice clean. If you sold anything above, I guess you could take that all the way to 60. Where do we take that to? It's like 60, 67 something. Crazy ass price up there. And it comes rifling back. So that's the trade. I cashed out of this giant yen trade I had, got swing trade here. Now this took a week and a half to get paid on this dollar yen trade. It was brutal. That's a swing trade. I wouldn't even want to look at that. I would trade very lightly on a swing trade, make the same amount of money as a scalp. I would figure that's the rational thing to do is have a set dollar risk and then just apply it to different situations. So if I'm risking $100, I got a lot of flexibility if I got targets of 5, 8, 12 pips as opposed to these. I'm waiting for this dollar yen to go through all this bullshit where I don't even scalp out. So I don't think that's ever a good idea. So even when you're swing trading, you should be able to. Well, this is the problem with a bias. Is if you have a long bias, you're never going to fucking scalp it the other direction because you're set up for the long bias. You're set up to only buy. So maybe you're going to. This is why sometimes you just got to get out of your longs because you see the sellers coming in. So you may have a bias, but not everybody agrees with your bias. And of course, there is never a straight line. Even if we're going up, it's going to be a zigzag ride. So if you bought, you're buying into the trend, you buy a pullback, you might dump at the climax because you know the pullback's coming again. So that even if you're just trading from the long side, right, there's a rhythm there. But people are saying, oh, well, I have a sell bias today on so-and-so. I think it's ridiculous because, it's okay to have that and say I'm only going to sell because my sell tickets are on deck and I'm ready to sell. Psychologically primed to sell only and focus on selling only, of course, but getting out when it's tanking because it's probably going to reverse and go up. I mean, none of these trades go in a straight line. Well, of course, it may seem like it because 8 hours straight, right? 2 pauses in an hour, but it does crush. And when it does that, it's because you're pounding into some void that's so old and it's just shearing its head off, right? It's just crushing into it. Now, you could call it whatever you want. There's no special terminology. You could call it I was watching this horror flick where this chick is just mean as hell, and she says, this is the face of the hammer, this is the cheek of the hammer, so she yells out cheek and smashes him with the cheek side of the hammer. So all of these terminology people use, and of course, I suppose if you're going to sell a course, you have to have the secret decoder ring and all those terminology to make it okay for you to trade, because that's what people are trying to do, So the people like Ranko charts, they love this shit because it gives the market some clothes to wear, it's like dressed up. And I still think you need a trade plan for the indicator, though. You can't just say, well, now there you probably have a bias. Oh, as long as it's red, we're going to do this. As long as it's white. I think mine was red and white. And if it's this color, the ones I've seen, I think are red and white. And if we go this way, we're going to do this. So everything's geared for the long side or the short side. But I'm also thinking about buying on limits and selling on limits typically when I talk about it, because I think that's the most intelligent way to get in the market would be on limits, because you're saying, oh, I know where it's going to turn around, or I have a hunch that I know I want to sell high, so the sell limit has to be placed high, so that just leads you to sell high. And selling at the market means Oh, this is the fucking top right here. Oh, this is fucking top. This is ridiculous to think like that. There is no fucking top. I guess suppose in the long run, right? I mean, we don't know, like, this. I'm still befuddled by this algorithm idea. I don't even know what the fuck when people say, oh, the market's so ICT says I'm the first guy to say the market's an algorithm. What the fuck does that mean? It's constantly unfolding and changing. So whatever that means, is that some math formula? I just don't get it. It's a sequencing. I know that. Like the algorithms I used to, like on my foot pedal, it would be just like, okay, this is hooked to that, that's hooked to that. Yeah, it's all connected, but if you're going to say things, which he said in his video, like, we're going to sit back and see what happens first. Now, this is what used to drive me nuts on people's videos. They go, well, let's see what happens, and then we'll get in the market. Well, why do you have to fucking see what happens? You know what's going to fucking happen. It's either going to fucking go up or go fucking down. Why are you putting yourself in this can't do anything about it situation? So when Bitcoin was making new highs, I thought, it could take some balls to step in front of it and start selling at 64,000, and just start selling up into that. Every $1,000, you're selling another contract on a margin. And you're like, yeah, this is going to be like one of those crazy, we've seen this a million fucking times. The market makes a new high, it breaks out of this huge breakout. I mean, it's a monthly breakout, all-time highs. And go figure, right? And as it's pounding into that, this is why trend lines work on closing prices. No nonsense would say trend lines don't work. This doesn't work. Well, you're not drawing them on closing price. If you draw them on closing prices, they work. Yeah, if you draw them on the wicks, not so much, because now you got volatility in the situation. So if you draw your trend lines on the wick tips, you have a completely different view of the market. I mean, trend lines are not even, they're volatility lines at that point. So you're just bracketing. So triangles, they really do exist. Coils and all that. So when you read through these pattern books, they never tell you, well, this pattern here, based on what instrument you're trading. So you're on the NASDAQ trading a triangle on the fucking 4-hour chart. My God, it's probably going to kick you out. I mean, it's probably going to be just insane. I mean, it's probably be triangle after triangle after triangle. In fact, if you don't know how to trade the formation of a triangle, then you can't range trade it, and then you can't fucking hardly make any money. Because you're waiting for this perfect setup. Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for this to happen, that to happen. And you may catch an occasional, this is the kind of lucky part that people put into their formula that, yeah, I just heard an ad on the radio, I was driving in. And some guys, apparently, somebody put 100 grand into Bitcoin and just made X, right? Maybe they bought it 30,000 when it sat there, in a triangle. And they go, I'm going to load the fucking wagon down here and see what happens, And they made $20,000 in a giant position in Bitcoin. And the guy's bragging on the radio like, yeah, this is the latest thing. Yeah, he goes, that's every investor's dream is to catch a big trend. Like they would talk about macro trends and all this bullshit. And it really doesn't fucking matter, because it's like, well, how big is your trading account, and where are you trading at, and how are you getting these trades on? Are you calling up and phoning them in? Are you pressing a button? Are you just using a dartboard? And in the end, it's money management, right? Because if you just get out of the trade, if you scalp everything and your exposure is that you're not holding anything for more than 4 hours, then you're really a less risky trader than a guy that's holding some monster position, or at least psychologically having to think about the trade and worry about it, like, what the fuck, you think they filled me? Or, do you think this thing's going to keep going? So that's always a good question. Do you think the market is going to keep going in this direction once it's in a trend? And where's the final destination? This one guy, I was watching his video and I thought, he's going to basically saying, well, when it gets down here, about 200 pips down here, we'll think about buying it. I thought, God, really, dude, you know how long it's going to take that thing to go down 200 pips? I mean, certainly you can find a trade that's 50 pips deep. I mean, certainly you can find some way to buy this thing just because it's low. And just because it's low in the last 12 hours, it went down. So there's just Friday left, the rest of the week here. But so the whole week, Wednesday, this idea that Wednesday's the low. Well, you know what? Thursday was the low. So, there is no fucking, it reverses this day, it does that on that day. This is all stupid stuff. Like ICT's talking about this dumb shit, like, well, seasonality, Oh, dude, I fucking, I got this Jake Bernstein book. Dude, I spent more money on books. Like Wiley and Sons. They put a wing on their house, dude. I bought like fucking $2,000 of these fucking trading books. And I had Jake Bernstein season. I'm like reading through the shit. I'm like, there's not one fucking trade in these books. It's bullshit. And they're like, oh, look at this chart here. Look at this. And oscillations. And these are all theoretical shit. I have one that with the Fibonacci time, right? And Fibonacci price. These are idealistic fucking drawings with a goddamn protractor. Now you look at the market. I can't find no fucking. I don't see these patterns jumping out at me. Like, the book is just completely. Well, everything's perfect. The Elliott wave, the pattern 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no one. Where the fuck's Elliott wave in here? Where's fucking Wyckoff in here? So you really have to hunt it down. Of course, if you're looking at the 4-hour chart as opposed to the daily chart, I mean, that's a whole different amount of detail. So the detail of the fractal within the fractal. And is this worth trading, right? Is the spread too wide? Is there too many trades to launch? The reason why robots are kind of futile unless you have it doing something that, like I said, the 15-minute tickets, they only last 15 minutes, half hour, because you don't want to be clicking on these things continuously. You have to think about that trade. But if it's just trolling for a scatterbrain kind of flash crash that happens, Europe opens and spikes down, but it's always better to just trade manually, because you're going to place all your tickets in the logical positions on the chart. And like this morning when the euro, they came out with some bullshit news about the euro, but you knew the thing was going to fucking explode because it'd been dripping down and dripping down. And it was forming a wedge just like this Bitcoin. So anytime you see a pattern like this, there's going to be so many false starts. So if you're trying to get really big on these things, you're just never going to make any money, because you got to make money here. You got to make money here because of this move. That is pretty rare, spectacular. And of course, if you're still holding and it comes all the way back to, see, put a buy stop here or some dumb shit thing. It came all the way back to where you got in. You're like, fuck. We put a buy stop here and we trailed a stop here, and then we made this much money. It came all the way back like crazy, right? If you didn't look at this wackadoodle shot. I mean, this is crazy town. This is the first all-time high in the Bitcoins, and then having a ticket just right here, a basket, like you can make so much money right here. And yes, this is a beautiful move, but that is so rare. 2 weeks hard down, right to 30, bam. Now, if you're going to just buy here, and you could have, based on these, a whole lot of, pips or bucks to be made here, right? This is all crazy down then. But that really takes some, and moving averages are never going to get this triangle. Never going to get this wedge. I bet this was a divergence in RSI. It's like now here we're dicking around. So there's plenty of trades to sell up here again, to here, and then put the buy limits down here. Just range trade this. I can imagine this thing's just going to be a bunch of bullshit now. The idea that we're going up to $1 zillion is just this harebrained dreamland stuff. This is like a fucking, this thing's fucked. You're trapped in some bullshit here probably for the next year, until they get rid of these fucking assholes that are running the country. So then I don't know what happened, and then it could just crash, right? Or we could just be static. We could just trade between fucking 40,000 and $60,000 on the $20,000 trading range for the next 5 years in Bitcoin. People blow their brains out. Well, I thought it was going to go to $1 zillion. What's going on here? Like, look at gold. I mean, the motherfucker went sideways for 5 years, and I did predict that. I said this thing, after it went fucking nuts up, I go, that's fucking, you're dead. You're dead in the water. You got nothing now. It's like this fucking administration. They fucking absolute goddamn hollowed out pieces of shit. What happened to these fuckers? Oh, life support. Look at these stacks. I put all my supply zones in there. See that handmade shit there? That's the weekly. That's the daily. So I had these things, and you could have scalped that. You could have sold up into this. But I don't trade this fucking thing. Fuck Bitcoin. It's fucking gay. Right? It's queerer than these people that don't know what sex they are. Sell limits in this pocket here, right? And then, of course, cash out. Look at this nice narrow candle here. Little doji. Nice little scalp. But then, of course, there's buyers galore below there. And then, of course, they're sitting, and that's going to begin to the... So the question is, are we breaking out here? Is it going to make another big run? And if you think that's the case, then by all means buy on dips, or just pepper a bunch of tickets down in here. I'd say put a buy limit here and just start putting buy limits in if you think it's going up. This way you can just take a ride as soon as it leaves the station. Isn't that the logical thing to do? Of course, it's not working. You don't see anybody using fucking logic, do you? I mean, they just want to make money. I can't believe they've got these fuckers. I got to the store, dude. I love how people are beating the shit out of people with masks on. That's finally, man. It's like thinking, save me a fucking trip to the fucking store to get a hammer to beat you in the head with the fucking cheek of the hammer, the claw your fucking face. I'll take that mask off for you, buddy. I love that people are finally. When are these Australian people gonna come unwrapped and go fucking doing some punishment? I'd sell up in this fucking order. This is the order block up here. There's the order block right there. I'd be selling up there. I'd be buying down here. So I just put buy limits and sell limits. Just what happens. Whatever happens. I don't want to be deciding this shit, honestly. Come after me. Come into my tickets. So I'm buying the euro and pullback here tonight. I can always claim I'm buying a pullback. Put buy limits like really tight. All the way down. This is just a great low, man. You really missed that. But nobody cares, honestly. We can all see these things. But is anybody really buying? Is anybody trying to just scalp this? I'm sure people that know how to do that are doing it. That's obvious. And then, of course, sell limits there, buy limits there. And it's just, you just have to sit back and wait for it to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Trading has to be the most boring way to make money. It's not like skydiving or something. I got buy limits pending down here. I think they last all week or something. I got to get rid of that. The robot was dropping it. I got something running in the background here. Look at Dow Jones. All-time highs. This looks like a total trap here. This looks like it's going to be brutal too, because this would be fundamentally they're trying to give out $450,000 to fucking people that came running across the border because the weather was fucked up where they live. Yeah, I was having a fucking unseasonably warm weather. You know, this weather's not been that good this year. I think we'll just go up and hop across the border up there in the United States. Yeah, Biden says if the weather ever gets kind of like, too much, it's kind of hot down there and your air conditioner goes out, come on. There's going to be fucking hell to pay in these stock markets. This shit's fucking ridiculous. I can't believe this is it. This is people wearing masks. Like people buying here. Who's buying the fucking Dow Jones up here? Well, it's a breakout. Shut the fuck up. Don't you know how my system works? Look at this fucking trap on NASDAQ. This is going to be a bloodbath, dude. All the shit's sitting in the port. The fundamental news on this fucker. This will be all fucking time high on this thing. And bye-bye. Bye-bye. This Bezos guy is going to have to stop flying fucknuts around in a spaceship. Well, this thing come back to here. and that doesn't hold, then it comes back to him. This is going to be such a fucking train wreck. I'm going to love this shit. It's going back to here. It's like Fauci. It's going to come out back to here. It's going to come back to here. People like shit their pants, and I'll be buying down here. That's the fucking Call Allen area, man, right there. I buy right there. But for the moment, I'd sell everything I own above this thing. I don't care. I cash out. Put sell limits up there too. Put some sell limits up there. People have lost their mind. You can see them doing it all the time. In gold, that's kind of a... So I think gold's fizzling. Okay, I'm going sideways there. Gold's just kind of a big fucking bullshit scam too, because look, where's this thing going, right? Or where the fuck's gold going? Nowhere. Not going anywhere. Sure, it looks impressive. If you look back here, you see, wow, we took out this high. We're really in an uptrend, you know. We did take out this. But I got bad news for you. If you bought that breakout, just like this is the same stupid-ass breakout in Bitcoin, you're fucked. You're underwater right now. Right, we're down here. All the way back to the starting gate. Once again, foiled, totally screwed over by the fact this thing can't get the fucking out of its own way. Trapped in this window of just bullshit. Look at this. This whole thing, unless you know how to range trade it, you're doomed. Man, this is just amazing. Yeah, gold. So, I guess it's in an uptrend, whatever. I think it's just treading water, and I don't think it's a good investment. I mean, it's a good, stable investment. I mean, I don't think it's a trade. Like, you're not trading it. Like, you're just parking your money there. Obviously, everybody's just parking their money there. There's not enough to make it move all over the map. I mean, the crude oil is moving. Nice big sell-off. I think it's had it, too. This is the monthly. Like I said, that's a hell of a run. Now I think it's just going to be choppy at the end of the year. Of course, we're supposed to have that big sell-off. The stock market's supposed to crash. That was the old thing they always said. October surprise. It's going to crash. Well, October's almost over. What happened? Oh, it's been delayed, see. You can't understand cycles, see. It's astrological, see. What's going on here? Do you ever hear of, you know who W.D. Gann is? Do I have to explain everything? W.D. Gann, he was into angles, and he was into astrology, and I know people love this stuff, though. They love the whole story of that. So the story of price. Let's have to look up the story of price. The story of volatility is the story in these markets. Let's do a trade on the 1 hour Bitcoin. So, wow, look at this. We missed this fucking buy here. Damn it. See, you can't even see that. I can see on the 4 hour, but look at this insane wick here. This was earlier today. You could have put orders down here. I can see the spread, so it's pretty. I think here's a good view. Like the 1 hour chart, can't hardly see the spread. Plenty of supply and demand zone trades here. So that's the exact same area, and even inside that area, the scalp would be like this. You're buying here because of the daily, but everything below here, if you don't mind making money to that floor a few times, actually, but kind of holding through the end of the day, then it bangs on the floor and just goes cutting through. So this would be the full auction, and engulfs, takes out this high of this day. That must be the order block that ICT's talking about. But then it rips here, and then it takes out this. So if you're talking about stop hunting, if that's an algorithm, yeah, of course, or liquidity zones and all. But what's so funny about him is he says, no, it's not that. It's all the same thing, but it's not that. It ain't that. It's all the same thing. It has to be. That wick there is the satisfaction of this slot. It just happens fairly quickly in Bitcoin, right? like it does in Forex. This is over the counter. I don't think this is a regulated market, is it? Sure, the exchange has it, but this is a spot market. And when it tags the liquidity pool and it comes ripping out, it doesn't always engulf, doesn't always take this out. But when it does, it cuts through. Here's your only scalps is here, and then here you would have to be really, and no fills up here. It never made it any higher than that, but once it cut into this 2-day void, then it comes back. So that's the satisfaction. And of course, if you're buying below that, you have to scalp to the floor because it doesn't mean that it's going to engulf. You wish it would, right? So sometimes we wish these trades would complete the engulfment and just go all the way to the other side. And if you don't have your target set up like that, then I guess you're kind of disappointed. Just the same, you don't even care if it happens or not, right? Because that's not your trade. But if it was, if you bought everything below here, and then once it does crash down, it doesn't quite make it back to there. It's not a perfect world. So when we cut into this, and this starts to really stack up, this starts to mean something. But this was amazing, taking out the low 2 days ago, just at the end of the day there, like that. The spread could have been wide there. I don't know if the spread is always tight here. Certainly this is the next buying zone. That should be obvious. I suppose this is the obvious thing is this is stacked up and the aggressive trader puts buy limits here, and I guess you're thinking about targets up here if you're thinking like that. But you can't put a stop. So if you buy here in a limit, you can't put a stop here and say, well, there's my target. I got a really good ratio, because this wick's going to just destroy that trade. So the supply zone, or the void down here, is really deep. They're going to take that. There's enough just flash crash going on because of that really sharp vacuum. Just like this is like not even, just like 20 hours of void. The market's pounding around down here and then rip back through that. I'd definitely cash out. Like if my trade was to buy there and make that. Because if you don't get out and you don't move your stops, this wick destroys you. So trading Bitcoin, I don't know if people think this is safer than Forex or something. But that is a wicked move. But this is a volatility spike in the context of everything that's going on here. So if you go to the 4-hour chart, so the 4-hour chart's a little different view because you really have to consider every top of every bar here as being liquidity thing, situation, supply demand, order block shit up here, because that if we ever tap into that, wow. Anything above this, of course, anything below that, that's the new standard for value now. Looking forward. I just have to have the new normal, right? 5 fucking masks and a butt plug. So yeah, you don't want to hurt your neighbor. Last time the neighbor raped me, I got him sick. I wasn't vaccinated. So you girls out there, don't forget to get vaccinated before you get raped. You don't want to hurt it. It's, oof. Nothing worse than nothing worse than molesting an unvaccinated girl. This is the new short-term buy zone. Would be put buy limits right here and sell limits right there. That'll be crazy. I figure spike, and then looking to get out where we get in, and then just buy limits below. Not much you can do here. So yeah, it's going to be some kind of end of the year. Looks like kind of a fizzle. It's going to go out with a fizzle. Everything's so bad, so warped out that I don't think there's going to be too much drama at the end of the. People have accepted the insanity of it all. What happens when you let the kids play with fucking Dominion computers? Let these fuckers cook up their own fucking viruses and shit. You got these fucknuts running the show, so of course you would never know it. The squirrels in the trees don't even fucking have a clue. I haven't seen any birds outside freaking out. None of the animals in my neighborhood wear a mask. It's only humans that are dumb enough to fucking think they can stop something when it says right on there it has nothing to do with that. But it's nice, I guess that's why people are wearing clothes, right? Because it's just you're so offensive looking in the end. I think maybe the mask for some people, I'd say, yeah, leave it on, There's some ugly motherfuckers out there, so I think it might be an improvement. There might be a benefit there. But it should not have that much cloth on there. It should just be a steel mask. Maybe one of those Silence of the Lamb mask, Just give me a nice... How about that Halloween mask? With the hockey, the goalie mask. It's going to be a crazy year. And this year, a lot of people are going to be happy it's over. Oh, they're supposed to change the COVID testing procedures. So that will be their out. That's how you land some of the plane there. I think they're going to try to bring it in for foam the runway because they'll be like, oh yeah, the PCR test changed. And it looks like everybody's all saying. But you can't. You just got to have sick people, man. You got to have sick people because the hospitals need work. All this pissing and moaning. It's so funny because it's like, we're going to get overwhelmed. And like, God, it's like a real fucking problem for you. You're getting paid so fucking much per ventilator. You're making so much fucking money. You're bitching about that? You're really, you got to be kidding me. Well, it's just crazy. We can't keep up with fucking people everywhere. You should be fucking happy you're working all that overtime. You're fucking making all that money. It's just, we're heroes. No, you're fucking making more money than me, you bitch. You're doing this fucking job. Getting fucking hazard pay? Jesus Christ. I can't believe the fucking world we're in. Somebody says some dude's a dude. Dude looks like a dude. Dude is a dude. I'm sorry, you cannot say that. That is fucking absolutely illegal. So, the nice thing about trading is this shit ain't illegal. You can put any order you want there. It's like music. You can play any note you want. You don't have to play in key. Fuck playing in key. And so you can do any trade you want here. That's the one thing Mark Douglas said. This is the ultimate expression. You can do anything you want when it comes to trading. You can do any kind of trade you want. There are no like, oh, you gotta do this and that. No, I know people do want to do that because they want to be inside of some type of safety net. That I read this in a book, so I do that, and that's the appeal of no nonsense. No, not sex. Because he's saying, oh, I tried this. Yeah, I tried using an arrow, but I kept getting my finger hurt and caught, so I just got a gun. And, but I shoot my foot one day, but I killed somebody when I was filming a movie, but other than that, everything's pretty cool. No, it's just it's amazing. I can't keep up, honestly. I take a nap all the time now. The latest piece of news comes out, I'm like, man, it's like a circus. Who's going to the movies? I'm in the middle of some warped movie right now, so. All right. So that's ICT says, as you were. As you were. I don't think every day is a new IQ test for everybody, so every day you're different. You can't step in the same river twice, so we're always changing, and Thank God that we'll soon be dead. We'll take a big fucking dirt nap. All my anger will go away then. I think that's my only cure is a dirt nap.